Waiting for the stream to catch up. Let's see if we have sound. Let's see if we have sound. We do. We're all good on that. All right. Scroll so I can see the chat. There we go. All right. Started a minute early. Oh, now it's 8 o'clock. East Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and live from Cabot, Arkansas. It is Saturday night. All right, this is, what's the name of the show? Ramsey Coach with Coach Steve Money. This is show number 32, I think, of this, and it is August 12th, 2023. And you see my banner right here. Whoops. There we go. And why don't we see my... That's weird, not seeing my link on the side here. I'll have to look into that. All right, so this is my YouTube home page, and if you scroll down, you can see the past live streams, including some game streams, but also the Ramsey Show After Show, which will be coming up Tuesday, will be the next one, and on that day I will be debuting an entirely all new Ramsey Baby Step song. The Ramsey Show After Show, I used to do that every day. Now I can only do it 34 days a month, maybe. But you go down to the music playlist. Jeez, can't think. Oh, I don't need this on anymore. You go down to the music playlist and you see the Jade Warshaw song there. What is that? Dead fought Warshaw and Warshaw won. Dead fought Warshaw and Warshaw won. Rachel Cruz song, and I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, for good advice that she learned in her youth. The John Deloney song. Ooh, he's got 2 PhDs. 2 more than me, plus he's got some other certs, John Deloney. And of course, John reacting to me reacting to his reaction, or me reacting to John Deloney's reacting to the John Deloney song. And of course, the original Ramsey Baby Step song, and that would be, if you want to have financial peace, you should do the baby steps. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. All right, that's I know that's spot on, so I don't want to do any more of it so I get flagged from the YouTube. So let's see what else. Go ahead and give my plugs and then we'll get started here. Ramsey Solutions, Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and you can schedule a free online financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. We will be doing that via Google Meet, probably some kind of video conferencing. We will work it out. calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. And the link used to be on the right side of my YouTube banner. I do not know why it is not there now. Maybe it's there because I don't know why. You can email me at about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel at CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Donations go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. And you can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. And of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. Get rid of the graphic there. And let's do some show. How about that? The show is, or the Ramsey advice is centered around the baby steps. And this is where if you do these things without any other knowledge, this will take care of you. A lot of people have difficulty because they're too close to their own situations. Sorry. I have to go back and get, let's see, a little bit more that way. There we go. My green circular thing is on top of me. All right, so that's better. All right, so as I was saying, following these steps will get you there. But a lot of people do have trouble because they're so close to their own situations, and this is so radical. It's not normal behavior at all to do this stuff, and so they have a hard time putting it into their own lives. But if you have spent any time at all watching the Ramsey show or consuming his videos, then you know all the advice pretty much. But anyway, we'll answer questions regardless. Baby step 1, save $1,000 for your start emergency fund, and that gets you out of, oh, this happened, let me put it on a card. Baby step 0, forthcoming video one day on the missing baby steps, which is baby step 0. The baby step 0 includes a lot of things. The 4 walls, shelter, food, transportation, clothing, and my pal Sid likes to add internet to that, and I don't have a problem with that. What else is in baby step 0? Get insurances in order. Get current on bills. I think there's 1 or 2 things I'm forgetting. Maybe they'll come up tonight. Baby step 2 is pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball. That means smallest amount to largest amount, not percentage. That would be the debt avalanche. And because the highest percentage could also be the highest amount, that tends to make people lose interest faster because it takes so long to pay off the first one. If you start with the smallest amount, you get that one paid off the quickest. Step 2, save 36 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. A lot of people ask, what should my emergency fund be? Well, we don't know because we don't know how many months you want to do first. 2 variables we're missing, the month, the number of months, and we don't know what your expenses are. So only you can answer this question unless you provide those 2 variables. If you have no job drama or life drama, 3 months emergency fund is fine. If you sleep better with 3.5, 3.8, 4 months, that's fine as well. If you feel safest with all 6 months, that's fine as well. So you pick the number of months first, and then you multiply it just by your amount of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. All right. Then once you've done that, step 1, 2, and 3, in order separately. 4, 5, and 6 are in order all at the same time. Step 4, invest 15% and only 15%, not more than that, of your household income in retirement. Step 5, save for your kids' college fund if you have kids and if you want to help them. If both of those are true, that's when you would address that. And step 6, pay off your home early. And yes, you would do that before you would invest more than the 15%. After you pay off your home, then at your baby step 7, build wealth and give. You can invest as much as you want. Have at it. Have at it. As far as missing baby step 3B is save for a down payment for a house. And it's up to you how much percentage you do into saving for a house and how much percentage you invest. Dave is fine with you delaying investing if you want to or need to be able to afford a house, if you need to save a very large down payment. All right, I think we covered everything there. And so this basically answers all of the questions, basically. But occasionally there's some intricacies involved. There's some things that aren't spelled out in these words right here. And so we'll see. We'll refer back to the baby steps when that does come up. And sometimes there's some non-baby steps stuff. Sometimes it's just motivational stuff, and sometimes it's just general advice stuff. When we get to them, if I remember, I'll point those out. All right, so we go to reddit.com/Dave r/Dave Ramsey. Excuse me, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and this is not run by Ramsey Solutions. It's run by fans. So the detractors have a little bit more free reign here. They generally, let differing opinions go, but if a post gets too contentious, they will halt it. So we sort by new. And insight, discern, sloth, intense. Oh, if you want a baby step, a group that's run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be your Facebook Ramsey Baby Steps Community. And make sure it says exactly that, because there's a bunch of other Ramsey-esque groups on there, but that is the only one run by Ramsey Solutions on the Facebook. All right. So where were we? Oh yeah, sloth intense. And here's what I have to say about that. So you're doing it wrong. All right, but anyway, let's see what oh, we got more to this. Okay. So for about a year, we have been gazelle intense, paying off debt in baby step 2. Excellent. That part's excellent. I have this necessities/food/gas/groceries, etc. budget line item for all our monthly expenses that came out to about $4K a month. Wife spends more than me, and it was difficult for us to stay under that 4K. Well, the fact that it's both people are spending rather than a plan together is the problem here. Mainly because of her. It resulted in an argument, of course, and stress, of course, where she thought I always blamed her for going over. You may have. It was her fault. Dad is blaming her. So she was right. How about that? I decided it wasn't worth it. Okay? You have to, in this situation where two spouses don't agree how to do finances, and one doesn't want to go gazelle intense, you have to compromise. And so what that compromise looks like is between the two of you. And that's because the rest of us, and I would say the best thing to do would be to follow Dave's advice verbatim, but I don't have to live in that house. So I don't have to live with your wife, for example. Let's see, I increased that line item to 5K, moving from gazelle intense to sloth intense. $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. I mean, if that saves your marriage, if that means you can stay married and you want to stay married, then nobody can say anything about that. It's not Dave's advice. It's about the only thing we can say to that. It's resulted in no arguments about finances. We are generally less stressed, happier because we stay under budget. Okay. All right. Basically that's not deciding what you should be spending and then sticking to that. That is making the budget reflect what you actually spend, which isn't really the idea of a budget. But again, que sera, sera. Let's see. that looks like is finishing baby step 2 in January 2025 instead of September 2024. That is 4 months. October, November, December, January. Yeah, that's 4 months. That's 4 months. If you can stay married and not argue for 4 months difference, that's fine. The problem would be if she has a problem with all of the other steps and so forth. And so if this is going to continue. So we'll see with that. As far as like if she wants to spend more because you're out of debt, then wants to up that line item again to $6K, and you don't even have your full emergency fund. So that would be something to look out for. The continuing thing of always it's not enough, that way. So I'm learning that doing the baby steps is a marathon, not a sprint. That's true. What good is sprinting if it causes big problems? Again, you want to stay married, you have to do what you have to do to stay married. You have to compromise with your spouse in this situation. What up, Sid? There can definitely be a line item for this free spirit to not feel trapped. Sid says you can still make it work and it doesn't bring you down to sloth level. Right. 4 months, I wouldn't call that sloth. I expected it to be way worser. Way worser. Add. David, student loans. Cartman's twin brother. He also had real estate loans. Millions of dollars of real estate loans, and he doesn't advise those anymore either. So I'm behind on recordings of the podcast, and the podcast is basically the radio show split up into 3 different segments, hour-long segments, which without the commercials is 40 minutes each. Let's see, a 724. Dave said 2 things that shocked me. He admitted he had $32,000 of student loans after college. Yeah, of course he did. He did everything normal, except he was in real estate very early in his life. And so, that's a good business if you can sell houses. Let's see, he said it wasn't healthy to work 40 to 60 hours a week plus go to school, yet he advocates for others to do it. For a short time. You don't have to do that forever. Does this change anyone's opinions of him or advice or him in general? No, because he had to do all this or we wouldn't have this plan. If he didn't screw up with the student loans and I don't know if he paid those off before he went bankrupt or not. I don't know. I don't know if that was part of that bankruptcy or not. I do not know. I never thought I knew he went to college. I never thought if he had student loans or not. Interesting. But yeah, this was all pre-baby steps. This was all before he went bankrupt and decided, we need a plan here. And he made one. And he made a great one for all of us to follow. Normal-platform 3798. What would Dave do? Flare. And the fun ones of these are when they add, and the moderators don't do this, they don't add the flare, the poster adds the flare, and so they put what would Dave do on there, and then they want non-Dave advice. This is what's funny to me. All right, what does Dave say about paying for outside help for the home after you're at step 5 plus? Probably. I mean, if you're doing that, if you're having like a house cleaner come over once a week instead of spending that money on a vacation in step 5, you can budget that. That's fine. Let's see if there's there's something weird about it, or it's like, thousands and thousands of dollars. Husband and I went through FPU when we were newly married and used that to pay off our first house in under 5 years. Excellent. However, we've had 2 kids since, now 3 and 1, and moved to a bigger house. Sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes you don't need a bigger house just because you have 2 kids. But it all depends. It all depends. And had to get a mortgage. Didn't have to. Chose to. Though we paid 50% down. Excellent. Okay. Since our life is so hectic right now with the little ones, disclaiming, justification station there, and we both have full-time jobs, we were thinking of hiring outside help to clean the house every other week and mow the lawn weekly, as well as getting a meal box delivered. Knock yourself out. Put that in the budget. Go ahead. That's not crazy. That's not crazy on baby step 5. I know these things aren't necessarily frugal, right? But at what point does quality time mean more than money? It's much more acceptable, I think, to the plan and to me personally. And that's what, other than like saying rote for rote, what day, not rote for rote, word for word, and rote, two different things mean about the same thing. It's my opinion. Some of the things are my opinion. So, but that's fine with me. I've been looking through Dave's old shows and couldn't find what I was looking for. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Additional stats combined, we make 250K bags. No debt and contributing 15% to retirement. We put a budget together and those things fit in the budget. Well, they don't necessarily fit by themselves in the budget, but you put it in there, and so it's in there. And so you get to, with that kind of income, on step 5, you're allowed to have a house cleaner and somebody else cut the grass and a freaking meal box delivered. If you were on step 2, that'd be a no way, dog. Be no way, dog. And of course, in step 2, you also wouldn't have moved up in house. Hopefully. Kids can share a room sometimes. All right. From you, David. You, nice. Does not having children provide more wiggle room on the mortgage rule? What does that mean? You want to have 40% of your take-home pay as a house payment, and you think not having children gets you a pass on that? I'm gonna go ahead and say negative, good buddy. Negatory, good buddy. It's the one snowman. I'm eastbound and down. So my girlfriend, beep beep boo doo. You not buy a house with someone you are not married to. Let's see, soon to be fiance and wife. Okay, great. Marry her and then buy the house. 27 male on the same page regarding both our finances and children, in that we aren't sure and we're sure that we don't want children, okay? We would do dinks, double income, no kid, okay? No kids. After reviewing so get to skip step 5 then. After reviewing Ramsey's mortgage rule, we're wondering if not having children provides a little bit more flexibility to that overall rule. Anytime you have to do this to anything, does this give me this about the steps? And that would be, in the general advice, that would be negatory, good buddy again. We reflected on our upbringing. Oh, that's fun. Of which we had very similar ones. Good quality childcare while both parents worked. Vacations growing up. Parents got our first cars when we turned 16. Good schools and our college grad school. We grateful for upbringings. I just want to make that clear. Okay. All right, that is made clear. You don't have to have children if you don't want children. That's fine. But yeah, whether that gives you're still going to be house poor regardless of your paying for children. You want to take what you would be spending on a child and put that to the mortgage. I'll give you what he says in Total Money Makeover, which is 25 to 35%. You can have 35%. 35% approved. The rest of it, no. If you're talking about up to 40, some people do like 50 or more percent of income towards a mortgage. Ridiculous. Unless it's in step 6 where you are paying it off early, and that is allowed. That is allowed. Let's see, sunshine underscore mama 422. Baby step 2 flare stork mode question. Hey, question about stork mode. We are baby step 2 only debt besides house is on our car payment. Have $14,000 and 665 is that number left on it. Currently trying to conceive. Do y'all know if Dave recommends pausing baby step 2 and stacking cash for baby when trying to conceive, or waiting to pause until when you find out you are pregnant? He says don't let the steps affect when you want to have children. Doing like the extra stuff, like freezing eggs or any of the other extra stuff that you have to do sometimes when it won't happen the natural way. That can cost a lot of money. So, and on that, again, I would redirect you towards each other. You and spouse should talk about that and make a plan together on that. But I wouldn't say don't do it. Like I said, Dave doesn't say wait to have a family until you have your financial stuff together. Let's see, Millennial Dave Discord. What? Master Menji, Millennial Dave Discord. Does that mean it's a Discord where people say to be honest every sentence? Honestly, to be honest. And the new one, whenever, for things that actually have a date. Whenever I was born, it doesn't matter if you don't remember the exact moment that it happened. It still happened at an exact moment. So it's not whenever, it's when. Anyway, soapbox. Hey, I made an unofficial Discord for millennials who are doing the Dave Ramsey program. If interested, come join. Okay. I mean, that's fine. But the plan is for everybody. Millennials don't necessarily need their own group. We get that quite a bit in the Ramsey Show chat. People want the plan modified for Canada. They want it modified for being old and on disability. They want the plan modified for whatever situation they're in. And this the plan works for everybody. As far as the disability stuff, an income is required to be able to work the baby steps, so that can interfere there. But if that helps these millennials out, great. Maybe I should go in there and explain to them how to not say to be honest. I'm not gonna do that, because that would be trolling. Major Champ says, Dave said a guy at 35 making $290K with 110K in debt will be worth over $1 million by the time he is 40. We did this last week, and let's see if they give more information this time. He called in as he took 300K debt down to 110K because he and his wife combined made about 150K. He was a resident, now a physician, right? Dave was super proud, but the guy had no retirement. Yep. He was asking if he could start it while paying that debt down due to his age. Razer was on as well. They both said to keep going and get debt free, right? Because that's going to help you out more than the retirement, because when you do that, you have debt and you're trying to save for retirement. You're trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. So patch the hole first, get debt free, and then work on the 15%. Yeah, 15% at age 37 won't make you worth 1 to 2 million by the time you are 40. He would have to be far exceeding 15% to reach his retirement goals short term. In my humble opinion, not sure if he rents a home. That's the whole thing. If the guy said he owns a home, that would be part of his net worth already. So, like if he has a $500,000 home and it's paid off, or is part of the 110K debt, that's 300 or 400,000. That is part of the net worth. So then that makes it easier to get to there. But yeah, I did. Somebody else asked about that in last week's show. They didn't ask me. They had that post in Reddit, so that has been covered. But yeah, basically, it's like and also doesn't matter because it's more than he would have had if he didn't start investing when he's out of debt and has the full emergency fund first. Yep, same advice for everybody. Shocker, right? Humble Hawes SY68 looking for a high yield savings account. I'm trying to start building my EF. Which banks do you trust and have a high yield savings account with? Thank you. Any bank is probably going to be fine. You can go to bankrate.com. Now, if bankrate.com goes out of business, do not sue me. What are we looking for? Get out of the way. High yield savings, right there. Come on. There we go. So you see SoFi, 4.5, 4.7 from these guys. So what you have to do, easy application, no minimum balance, high yield. So any of these are fine. Any of these are all legitimate businesses. I'm assuming, as I heard of Alliant, I can't remember if I heard of Alliant or not, but all the rest of them, and My Banking Direct, don't know about that one, but they're all members of FDIC. And these people have ratings here, as you can see, so you can go by that if you want. But the only stipulation is that if it's going to be your emergency fund, you have to have immediate access to it, which means you have to have a debit card and or check writing privileges to that high yield savings account. So that would be if you're saving for something else, then maybe you don't need it, and maybe you could right away and you can do the 1 to 3 day transfer, that kind of thing. What up, Margs? Haven't seen you in the Ramsey show chat. Have you been working or something during the show? Where were we? Right there. There we go. Used car prices skyrocketed. Cars less than 15K are less than 1.6% of the used market. That they still exist then. It's not 0.6. And some places are going to be more you were able to find them more in some states than others. So keep looking. Suspicious-dust 6978. Well, you got to watch dust sometimes. Availability of the participant data for the national study of millionaires. They have the white paper on that, so you can get that. I don't know if it has breakdowns on the. I assume to be a full study. I assume it would have the breakdowns of the participants as far as demographics and such. It's not going to give you their names. Let's see, as an organized researcher myself, I'm curious to see the participant data from the study. The shared results tell a helpful story, but not the full story. Does anyone know where to access the participant data for this study? Any airtight study would openly share the data. There's a white paper on it, yes. You can buy the white paper from their from RamseySolutions.com. I think /store, I believe, is the direct link to that. So yes, it is a white paper, is what they call those things for studies. Ever wish you could chat with Dave about those burning questions? My friends and I are big fans of Dave's podcast, and the other day we were trying to remember a specific episode he did a while back on budgeting. Some of us are starting unemployment. What? Beep, 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 beep. Then we were thinking it would be cool if we could just ask him some questions directly. Yeah, he doesn't really do the fireside chat thing, but let's see. So we decided to make a virtual Dave chat bot. We trained it on a bunch of Dave stuff, so you can ask it things and get responses based on what he's actually said before. It's been fun to just mess around with. Here's the link if you want to play with it. Okay. All right, starchatai.com/chat/Dave-Ramsey. Do not sue me if that gives you a virus or some malware on your computer. But the problem is that it may be an answer for somebody else's situation, and just like one word matches and they have it be the answer for what you ask. So you gotta be careful with that. AI not there yet where it can go over the whole, like everything he's ever published ever or said ever, and then get a better answer for you. I don't think we're there yet. Marg answer what she been doing instead of Dave Ramsey, Ramsey show chat, YouTube chat. Baby step 2 Flair paid off Kai a year early. Usually lurk and enjoy reading the post. Yesterday I paid off my 2018 HRV 15 months early. Excellent. Payoff date was November 2024, but no more car payment. Excellent. To celebrate, my best friend and I are going to the amusement park Sunday and can't wait. Excellent. Final debt is a loan I took out, I'm assuming, for major electrical work at the house. Then on to baby step 3. Excellent. User 928374778. Going back to school before paying off debt. That's fine, but no more debt. No more student loans. And you got to keep working, I'm assuming. Husband and I are on baby step 2. We have probably 3 years to go until we're completely debt-free. Work in education/mental health. And I really don't make a lot of money for where we live. Yeah, approximately 60K, okay? That's a factor. I want to pay off debt, but, there's a big but, I also want to advance in my career and go into private practice. None of that match equals I want to pay off debt. So I guess you got to decide what you want to do more. I applied to a certificate program that would get me another license and a big pay bump. I got in and very excited but conflicted. The classes are $2,000 each, and I'm getting a couple hundred covered by my job. Couple hundred out of 2K. We're planning on cash flowing one class at a time until the debt is paid off. 3-ish classes a year. But I can already hear Dave screaming at me. Probably. I talked to my therapist friends, and most of them owe a lot to Sally Mae. Of course they do. Hubs and I bring in a little over 170 before taxes. That means he's making 110. Excellent. And we have been paying, again, it depends on where they live though, paying about $5K a month towards the debt. That seems a little light. That seems a little sloth intense for 170K. The months that we fund the class will be a little behind on paying off debt, so even less than 500K. 50K, I mean. I know that this contradicts the Dave Ramsey method. Yeah, it does. but I've always wanted to do this. Well, you can do your plan or you can do Dave's plan. Either way is fine. My friends who work in private practice are making 6 figs or close to it. Doesn't mean that you will. That's the problem. That's the problem with all of this. Oh, let's delay paying off debt. Oh, let's take out student loans. Oh, let's let's do this stupid thing. It's great if it works out, but not everybody graduates. Not everybody gets that degree. Not everybody gets that license. And if you don't, then it was a huge mistake. I also think, so you can't afford, nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about that. People also don't think about when they go to college and they take out those student loans. Not a one of them thinks, oh, well, after college, I might have a baby and I want to stay home with the baby. Nobody thinks about that. Everybody thinks about, oh, I'll be making a lot of money after college and I'll be able to pay these student loans off. So you gotta think ahead. You gotta think in the future. You gotta think about the realistic chances that it might not work out like you think it's gonna. I know the Dave method is pretty strict. Yes, it is, and it's for a good reason. Is this a bad idea? That's for you to decide. I would not recommend that. I would recommend. You said 3 years to go until you're completely debt free. Do it in 3 years then, after you're debt free. Actually, pay more than $5,000 a month on that salary. Pay more. So, it could be a situation. They said it's high cost of living. So maybe they're house poor. Maybe that's a big problem. Maybe you need to go down in house. So look at everything that's involved. But I'm saying pay that debt off and have the full emergency fund before you do that. And $5,000 on $170,000 a year, that seems a little bit light to me. Throw another couple K on that at least. Cut those expenses. Maybe it's a little bit of lifestyle creep. That's another song. Yeah, I spilled water all over myself. Lifestyle Creep is a song that I finished it, but I haven't done that yet. Got that on the back burner. New Baby Step song debuting on Tuesday's after show. That would be August the 15th. Coming to you on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money right after the Ramsey show video is over that day. Approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central. Let's see. Bow, 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 bow. Mark's just not watching show as much as used to. Might watch later at night or next day. Depends on who is hosting, co-hosting. I got you, Mark. Did Sydney purchase a house yet? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And she did that with the manual underwriting with an indeterminable credit score. So guess what? Yes, you can do that. Credit score not necessary. Prove it by Sid. Chug_splash 219 baby step 2 flare while saving while on baby step 2. There's no saving. There's none of that. I mean, the exception might be you're kind of cash flowing /saving for if you know you're going to need tires in 6 months, then maybe something like that. That would be about it though. But just saving to have more emergency fund, negatory, good buddy. Currently on baby step 2, wife and I have been paying off debt for about a year, and we're close to finishing. We should be debt free in 4 to 6 months. So no, get debt free. It's 4 to 6 months. Only have $6,000 on a credit card and $8,000 left on a car loan. 4 to 6 months to pay off $14,000. All right. Okay. Yeah, get debt free first, and then you can do the full emergency fund. You're doing it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong anyway, if you haven't started that. What do you guys think about saving money when getting close to being debt free? This is the same people that want to start investing before they're debt free and have the full emergency fund. This is you're trying to manipulate the steps, and the steps will not be manipulated. Actually, you can do whatever you want, but they're in the order they are in, and it says not to do that for a reason, and that's because this way works. Whatever you're gonna do is unnecessary. Or unproven, rather, excuse me. Mathematically speaking, we'd be losing money due to the interest rate, stupid, on our credit card being 29% while saving only pays 4.5. Right, exactly. Good point. That's right, 29%. And you're going to say, okay, that's like the reverse. Like normally, like people will say, oh, my mortgage is so low, and if I put money in the market, that's 10%. But this is the opposite of that, and the guy still wants to do it. All right. Let's see. I think it might be a good idea to help the transition from baby step 2 to baby step 3. No, it won't. You don't need to help the transition at all. The transition is very easy because you start putting that extra money, instead of to pay off the debt, you start paying, yourself. You give it right back to yourself, and you put it in your emergency fund. And I forgot to mention we'd only be saving a couple $100 a month. Why? To get us in the habit of saving. No, we wouldn't be siphoning off too much money from the debt repayment. No, I'm gonna, that's a no for me, dog. Do my best, Randy. Oh, what's his name? Randy. Can't remember his name from the American Idol. That's a no from me, dog. On that. It's so ridiculous. I don't know why you think you need to get in the habit of it. Because guess what? On baby step 3. It's not all of a sudden, woo, we're out of debt. Oh, now you can spend a lot more money. No, you still have baby step 3 to do. So that money is still off the table. You're just, instead of giving it to debt, you are giving it to yourself. It's coming back around town. That's SpongeBob, I think. Boom. Ruben 2551, baby step 7 flare. Excellent, congratulations. What do you do after the baby steps? Baby step 7, build wealth and give. That lasts forever. Investing lasts forever. So you're doing investing, and if you paid off the house early, which you would have to do to be on baby step 7, or you're committed to be a lifelong renter, you can invest whatever you want. So let's see. I was listening to Healthy Dudes podcast. Oh, let's see. I'm 28 months from paying off my home, and honestly, millennial speak, honestly, why? That's not. We don't. If you say paying off my home and I kind of want to finance a car, I'm not gonna think, well, he's lying. He should have said honestly, so I know he's being honest about it. So stupid. I kind of want to finance a car. Would Dave kill me? Yes. In baby step 7, and you're going to go back into debt. Stupid. I was listening to the Healthy Dudes podcast, and one of their THEIR needed maybe do the baby steps for English. Apologies if English is not your first language, because I'm sure I would do way worse than this in your language. But if English is your first language, no excuse. Maybe they don't teach the millennials. They didn't teach the millennials proper English, perhaps. Hashtag 3rd grade. THEIR. There is a place. There means belonging to whatever group or person. One of their members is really close to paying off all debt. Excellent. What then? I'm curious. You already know. You're on baby step 7. Oh, you're not. Oh, you're not yet. You're not there yet. You got 28 months. Yes. Yes, you do not need a car. Or a truck, like some people like to buy. If they're in Texas, they like to buy trucks. I'm curious. I feel like I'm wanting to buy a Tesla. All right. And it's not, it's the, not I want to buy a Tesla. It's I feel like I'm wanting to buy a Tesla. Oh, you millennials. I remember when Dave Ramsey said that if you have a net worth of $1 million, then you can finance. But I can't seem to find that anywhere. What do you think? That's because it doesn't exist. He says if you have a net worth of $1 million, then you can afford to buy a new car in cash. And here's some other people's podcast. But yeah, that's because he does. That's a good reason. Hopefully one of these 38 comments told him there's a good reason you can't find it, because he didn't say it. There's no financing cars like ever. There's no loans for anything other than a house ever. All right. And see, that's the beauty of it. It's so simple, but people just don't think it applies to them for some reason. All right. Kooky-turnip. How do callers with 100+ debt seem so calm and happy? It's normal. I mean, because they didn't all of a sudden have 100K debt. It adds up over time. First is 20, then 30, then 40K, then 50K, then 60K, then 70, then 80, then 90, 100. So they got there incrementally. So this person couldn't sleep at night knowing I owe someone that much money, right? These people, what do you mean these people? Just applied for loan after loan like it's free money? I think some callers might be trolls though. It's very possible. I think they stop a lot of them though at the screener. But yeah. So yeah, it's just normal. And it's so easy to do normal. And that's getting loans, and that's, it's not that big a jump. If you were at 90K a year ago and now you're at 100K, that's not that big of a jump, and it's incremental. Just like lifestyle creep. Instead be a widow. All right, maybe I'll do that one day. Need help convincing my wife to let go. Never let go, Rose. Never let go. To let go of he business, her business, I guess. It's from PS-apprentice. Always two there are. Always two there are. A master and an apprentice. I learned about the baby steps in 2019 when my wife told me she couldn't afford to pay her credit cards anymore. Since then, I started learning as much as possible personal finance to help her deal with the issue. So what we're going to do when we get married is combine finances. We combine them and they become our credit cards when we get married. And then we pay them off together. Back then, we had about 50,000 combined debt and credit cards and mortgage for another 5,000. She also had a car loan for about 5 or 6K. I created a payment schedule for both our debts to get rid of them as quick as possible with the snowball method. Excellent, and things seem to go pretty smooth. I paid most of War and Peace here. Let's see, I paid most of. I paid PAID, nice try though, most of the credit card debt, and he mortgage. Again, is there our key broken? No, it doesn't look like it. The mortgage, this time is different. It's he, like it was before it meant her, and this time it means the mortgage. Maybe a light typer. You gotta hit the key hard enough to make it happen. and she paid for her car loan. Okay, that again, if you combine finances, you don't have to worry. That saves you so much time because you don't have to worry about, okay, he's paying for this and she's paying for that, etc. You don't have to worry about all that. We pay all of it. We were so close to pay it off. You gotta type it faster. Maybe need a mechanical keyboard or something. We were so close to paying it off all last year, and we reduced the intensity a little bit. Bad. Probably a mistake, you think? Because I knew that was coming, because a couple months ago I checked her credit card balance, and you're not her dad. You're not her dad. It shouldn't work like that. You just talk to her about it. Checked her credit card balance, and turned out she started using the credit card again. It came in another $50,000 in debt. Not telling you about it is a big problem in the marriage. Counseling. Time for counseling. The reason is that she has a business in order to procure new materials, and pay wages. This is fun. She had been taking money out of the credit cards to manage her cash flow. That's not managing the cash flow. That is going into debt more while you're trying to get out of debt. I don't like this at all. And I had to give her more money out of my paycheck, oh darn, to make payments in this last couple of months. This is great. I'll make this one a clip. This is fun. However, because of this, I want her to close the business. What time is it? 8:55. So about almost an hour in. I'll remember that. Maybe. Sid says I have dementia though. Boom. Where we at? I had to give her more. However, because of this, I want her to close the business. If it's not making money, and you don't see that turning around pretty quickly, yeah. I've shown her that in order to keep it going now, she needs a lot of cash, and I really don't want to finance the business out of my salary if she's going to blow it all and get back in debt again, yeah. I also don't want her to get another loan to get the much needed cash infusion that the business needs. What should I do? Well, here's an idea for both of you kids, you crazy kids. How about communicate? You need to communicate. There are major problems here. The money stuff is most often just a symptom of a much larger problem. You guys need to communicate probably about more stuff than money. And so that's, you guys, I recommend counseling on that. But you know what the Ramsey advice is for the money part of it? It's no debt. And his advice also is you can't be upset about the debt and say, oh, you're not following Dave Ramsey's advice. Because you're not either when you are keeping the finances separate. So you're doing it wrong. Let's see. Fire away. It's Pat Benatar. Hit me with your best shot. Johnny. Fire away, Johnny. Highest debt from a caller. What's the most debt anyone has ever called in with? And I heard someone say they owed $1.8 million for a loan to buy a trailer park. That might be. Yeah, perhaps worser was that's me saying worser. Way worser is from a podcast I listened to. It's from some clip. Some TikTok clip, I think. Was the dentist who called in with $1 million in student loans. Yeah. Yep. The high, other than those, the highest I can think of is Jade Warshaw, along with her husband Sam. Their debt was $450,000, I believe. Golden Grouper found this sub. What's this all about? I'm quite confused. Can someone give me context and explain what this is? There's a read this first up at the top. It's an internet forum where you can post questions or comments, and then people comment on it and answer the questions, and they can answer it however they like, regardless of whether it's Dave Ramsey's advice or not. But theoretically, this is for people to get what Dave Ramsey's advice would be. So, hope that helped. 32 people commented. Hopefully they straightened him out. Boom, boom, boom. Silence underscore do good 16. I need help. I'm not sure if this is the right place to post this, but I feel as if the people here are the most financially responsible people I interact with. Probably. Because we're not doing normal stuff around here. Also, I would suggest this person, if you can go if you're available, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, go into the Ramsey Show YouTube chat. And there will be people. There's going to be trolls, of course. There's going to be credit card people. But we think most people in there are Ramsey followers, and will be able to talk to you about it as a kindred spirit, rather than your friends and family think you're crazy. They think you're crazy. So again, yeah, it's doing this stuff is not normal, and you have to be fine with that. Let's see. I need help. I'm not sure if this is the right place to post this. Sure, why not? It's the right place. I have proclaimed it already. Approved. But I feel as if the people here are the most financial people I interact with. I read that already. I make around $5,500 a month and have no problem paying the bills. Excellent. All we have is the house, $1,900. 2 vehicles, $900 for both. Debt. And typical utility. No crazy credit card debt or any large school loans. Well, that's great. No, Dad should make baby step 2 easier. You're still on baby step 2. The issue I'm having is that my wife has access to my checking account. She should. It should be a combined checking account. And we'll run it dry every time I get paid, which makes my life, oh, okay, you don't talk to Reddit about it. You talk to her about it. This is the person you married. You should feel much more comfortable talking to her about it than some stranger. I mean, I get it, because there's no repercussions for posting it here. And if you talk to her about it, she's going to be like, oh, what do you mean? You'll have to actually talk about it and address it. Instead of here, where you might get, yeah, she's bad for spending money. Yes, she is. But you're married with her, so you have to deal with that. If she's not on board with the Ramsey advice, you need to compromise with her and see what you guys can do to get through life together. She also works, but I have no idea how much she makes. Red flag. What she makes hourly, or how much she has in her bank account. Why does she have access to your bank account and you don't have access to hers? But she can see or track all of my stuff, right? Why is that? I tried to talk to her about how unfair this is, but there was never a solution. What should I do? You force the issue. There needs to be a solution. Counseling is one definite thing I would advise here. Counseling for you guys. Marriage counseling, because again, this is a communication problem most of all. Secondary is she doesn't want to do the baby steps and you do. Perhaps. We'll see. Or we won't see. We'll never know. Unless this person posts a follow-up. 104 comments. So again, you never know if there's somebody making this up. But this stuff happens all the time though. You gotta communicate with your spouse. Every dollar app issues. Anybody experiencing issues with, I don't use it. Transactions that have sorted are missing when on the main page. Excuse me, sleepy. I even got a nap today. That's why the show was an hour late. When on the main page, including expenses and income. Yeah, don't know about that. I tried it. I didn't like it. I went back to my Google spreadsheet. Google Sheets. Highly recommend. Do not sue me if Google goes out of business. Nice asset. Baby step 4, does pre-post tax accounts matter? Yes. So I'm in baby step 4 and I'm trying to adjust my investments. Accordingly, I foolishly assume my employer's 401k plan is traditional and only because of Dave's band playing hyper focus on the details. And only is traditional and only finding out now it's a Roth 401k, so only post-tax. That's great. That's what you want it to be, because your contributions will be way less than your growth. And so you want to pay tax on those contributions rather than the growth. And A, kind of bummed, why? And B, kind of expensive. It'll be more expensive to pay tax on that growth later. So, and yes, I know you don't pull it all out at once, but still, that is all tax-free later on. So, with that said, is the 15% recommendation post-tax deductions, etc.? No, it's 15% gross. That's a heavy order. Just curious as to your thoughts. Currently contributing 7% post-tax. It's 15% of gross, so 15% of pre-tax income. 15% of gross. Right. New Ninja 8737 mortgage question. Followed Dave on and off, and I thought he used to be against any debt, including mortgage. Then he was fine with 15-year mortgage. Now he's fine with 30-year. He's not fine with 30-year. He has never recommended a 30-year. People like to make up stuff. It's a 15-year mortgage. I don't think he was. I don't think he would. He would rather you paid cash for a house, but he realizes that people aren't going to do that. So it's a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. So he's not fine with it. He just won't yell at you over that. It is allowed. It's not recommended. It's recommended to pay straight cash for it. And so he's not fine with a 30-year. So quit trying to make up stuff, new ninja. You weren't ninja enough to sneak that one in. College quest. Employer paying. Can I ignore FAFSA? I have a basic college question because I did my undergrad over a decade ago and I'm beginning a program for a master's degree in IT that can be reimbursed by my employer. You may be separated from that employer at some point. If I'm taking advantage of my employer covering the cost, do I really need to bother with FAFSA at all? Even if my employer didn't pay, I'd be able to cash flow. Well, that's up to you. I mean, you can, I think you need to do FAFSA if you plan on applying for any scholarships and stuff. And, I mean, it's possible you can even double dip. I don't know if that's true. If you can get a scholarship, but then your employer will still pay the whole cost. And so you can use the scholarship money for related expenses like books or something. So, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe you can't double dip that. But you do need to have a backup plan. If you'd be able to cash flow it and you don't want to do FAFSA, I wouldn't bother. Colonel J-Dog. Baby step 2 storm mode. Roth 457 versus Roth IRA. If you're in baby step 2 storm mode, you shouldn't be doing anything. It should be paused, and you should just be saving up cash. Investing doesn't happen in that. I recently heard, maybe this is just for like people thinking about stuff way ahead of time instead of dealing with what they have. Of course, people do that because like you can only do so much. Like if you're on baby step 2. Like right now, and especially on storm mode, the only thing you can do is make money and save as much as possible. And so if you're off work and you don't have any other type of work to do, and you're just sitting around, you're going to be thinking about the future steps, probably, if you're interested in the steps. And none of them say invest while paying off debt, or especially while in storm mode. Recently heard Dave say he would prefer investing in an IRA versus a 457 account. My understanding is that a 457B account functions the same as a 401k. Only that there is no penalty for accessing that money before age 59.5. Unlike before, you can access 457 money penalty free as soon as you leave your government job. Okay. Therefore, wouldn't investing in a Roth 457B take precedence over investing in a Roth IRA or any retirement account, since it gives you the option of accessing that money sooner if needed? Dave, maybe thinking about the 457 may have more limited investing options than if you just open a Roth IRA. Edit, I recently learned that early access to funds is only available to the traditional and not the Roth option. Okay, well, that answers that. Okay, fair enough. Did you recently learn that from the comments there? What happened to the scholarship lady on the show? I haven't seen her pop up on recent podcasts. 4 days ago. She has been gone for, is it coming up on a year now? That would be Christina. Wow, blanking. I mean, I do have dementia. Blanking on her last name. Christina something. So she is no longer working there, and that does happen. Just like AO isn't working there anymore. That does happen. They do have some turnover sometimes. She is still alive. Christina. Oh, maybe it'll come to me. I'll say it if it comes to me. She is still alive. She still has her social media, so if you cared that much, you could just Google her. Unless you're just bringing it up to start crap, which does happen. Happens in the Ramsey Show chat as well. People always asking. And it's especially fun, and you know the trolling, if they ask the question and people answer it, and then they come back in a different day and ask the same question again. So then you know. So then it's a blocky, so fun. Okay, underscore mango 6536. Christina Ellis, thank you, Christopher Pittman. Christopher Pittman, who designed all my logos. If you need stuff from him, if you need if you like my stuff and you want his if you would like some ideas from him for merch or logo or branding, that kind of thing, his email is, what is it? Designed. I'm typing it in. That's why I'm not on the screen at the moment. I forgot. I'm not on the other computer now. I have the same computer but a different. I have two TVs hooked up to it now. That would be designed by Pittman at gmail.com. And so he can help you for all your logo, branding, merch needs. All right. Thanks again for that, Chris. Preach. Let's see. Am I moved? It's from OK Mango 6536. Yeah, I'm okay. Is there a minimum amount recommended for baby step 4, baby step 5, and baby step 6 will be skipped? So I'm assuming no kids and gonna be a renter. Baby step 4. 15%, definitely. 15% of gross, definitely. But you can do more about that, because if baby step 5 and 6 don't apply to you, you're on baby step 7, so you can do whatever you want except go into a lower baby step. So you can't go into debt again. So let's see, baby step 1 through 3 are done, and you intend to skip. Step 5 and 6, only child is grown and married and never went to college of his own choice and I have no interest in home ownership. Is there a minimum amount of money a widowed woman in her early 50s should have in baby step 4 before moving to baby step 7? Well, it's all part of the same thing. You never stop. Baby step 4 never stops. So you would continue to invest at least 15%, but in baby step 7, that's how you build wealth. That's how you build your net worth. Is by some of that net worth is going to be house, some of it's going to be in your retirement. Lower range income, 52K annually, that's fine. Also not a lot of expenses, fine. Live quite comfortably, fully paid off. Higher end RV in an RV park. And with low lot rent, I own one older SUV and a small sunfish sailboat. Fun. I may pack up and move somewhere at some point. Okay, I already moved several times. My husband died. And I actually plan to travel full-time after I retire, so I intend to continue the RV lifestyle until advanced age and or poor health. Force me to consider other options. I currently have $800,000 in a retirement account that is made up from my late husband's insurance, I'm guessing. Late husband's 401k, what was left of his insurance policy after his medical bills were paid off. Not much after 5 years of cancer treatments. Oh my gosh. It sucks. The sale of my parents' home, the sale of my in-laws' home, and the sale of the home we owned prior to his death in 2018. I would really like to retire around 60 years old, but I can't collect full Social Security until 67. Is there a sweet spot I should be aiming for before I move fully into baby step 7 to start thinking about early retirement? You're there now. If you're not going to do step 5, step 5 doesn't apply to you. Step 6 doesn't apply to you because you're always going to be renting or living in an RV. Then you're already there. So you have to look at it like this. You're fine already. How old did she say she was? Bum, 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 bum. Did she say she was? I don't think she said. Oh, early 50s. So we'll go 52 on that. Let's go on 52 on that. 52 on that. 67 is when you can get Social Security. Social Security is not your thing here. Your thing here is your 800,000. Is that right? That's too many. 8 million would be cool too, though. I thought I got rid of one. Whoops. Gotta hit the right. There we go. $800,000. That is your deal. So let's pretend you are not putting any more money in, which you should be doing. If you have money to do so, you should still be contributing after if you have it left over after you're paying all expenses. You take care of everything in your budget, and you can put fun stuff in your budget as well. And let's go 0 on that. Annual return, 10% average a year. And so this is with no more. She already has 800,000. Now that's going to generate $80,000 a year. So if she doesn't add any more to it, it's going to be 3.936.242 million. Yeah, So it's gonna be almost $4 million by the time she is 67. Oh, I did 51 there. So let's do 52, just because we don't know. And that 1 year is not going to make that much of a difference. So 3563. And so as you can see, the $1 million year is in 2026, and that's without adding any more to it. So if you can live on 80,000 a year, you're already fine. So, and Social Security isn't the savior here. Your retirement account, your husband's retirement account, his life insurance policy, the proceeds from your relatives selling of the house, you selling your house, that is your savior here. The $800,000 is your savior here, not Social Security. So you don't even need it. I mean, I'm going to take it. Obviously, you take it because they took it out, and so you get it back. Some people like to argue that, well, you're not getting it back. You're just getting paid from what the people are contributing now. Okay, you still put it in, and now they're giving you money back. So why can't you talk about it in those terms? And it may or may not be as much as you put in. Maybe it won't be as much as you put in. Maybe it'll be more. I don't know. But anyway, so even if you didn't put any more, and granted, once you retire, you may not be investing anymore, and so it may sit right at 80,000. Is that wrong? Oh no, 800,000 is what it should be. Okay, so like I said, it will produce $80,000 a year. Right, that's right, isn't it? I'm losing my mind. Make sure I'm right. I'm right. Maybe I do have dementia. Sid. Times 0.1 equals, yeah, 80,000. Okay, see, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. All right, so, yeah. So that's your 80,000. Now, granted, so you just leave it there. And so if you take out 80,000 every year, on average, it makes 80,000. And so it just wouldn't ever go up. Maybe go up a little bit depending on how much your expense, because only take out as much as you need for your expenses. So maybe you take 60,000 out. Yeah, it just depends on what your expenses are, and they may go up as you get older and perhaps have poorer health. But otherwise, if you only take 80,000 a year, on average, it's going to stay about 800,000 in there always, and will always generate $80,000 average. So the Social Security is not the savior here, and the 800K in your retirement account is your savior, and being responsible enough to do that. All right. Boom, 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 boom. I got rich online. Okay. Financial peace, living with disability, pre-existing health condition. I thought you got rich online, so that would be able to handle all that, right? Let's say I've been calling private health insurance to get quotes for health and dental. It just made me extremely frustrated. What I'm eligible for in the private plans is one type of plan they offer for pre-existing conditions with their guaranteed acceptance, and their coverage allowance is anywhere from $500 a year to $2,500 a year, and it still will not cover the cost of my pre-existing prescription. Okay, coverage allowance $2,500 a year. If you're making any money, maybe you can cash flow $2,500 a year, so you just keep that money instead of having insurance. In my 20s, I got diagnosed got a diagnosis. Then it was years on off medication, on and off of medications until one worked with relatively mild to today concerning side effects. Okay, maybe English not first language. I've estimated I need $500 a month just for medical costs, not covered in government health benefit, private insurance. So you need to make $500 a month. And so depending on what you just don't get health insurance. And you save that money up to be able to pay for medical costs. But if you got rich online, then where's that money? All right. Hope doesn't pay the bills. Sexy lassie. Well, that's wonderful. I used to date this guy who didn't want to work and refused to get a full-time job. So, of course, I was financially supporting him. That was your problem. Because you had hope that one day he would get his S together. He never did. Yep, that was a mistake. We all make mistakes. Especially involving significant others. We all make them. Let's go. Christopher Pittman said, looks right. 800K, doubling it every 7.2 years. So it should double twice. And a little, once, that's his rough check answer. Yeah, I was just doubting myself for a minute there. I didn't want to say, oh, she's fine, and her not be fine. So, but I was thinking, well, if it's not 80,000, it's 8,000, and that's not right. Otherwise, we wouldn't be so happy about retirement, about contributing to a retirement plan. One of the segments on Dave Ramsey. It's called The Ramsey Show, but that's fine. I knew what she was talking about. A caller had a story parallel to mine. Her boyfriend refused to work, refused to contribute with household chores, the whole 9 yards. And Dave uttered the words, which woke me to reality. Hope doesn't pay the bills. That's true. I walked away from that relationship after hearing that. I'm happier now, free from that relationship. Let's see what else is there. Oh, no, nothing else. Okay, so apologies. I thought you were gonna say about like the hope you have while you're paying off debt, etc., etc. That's what I thought it was gonna be, but in the end, it was about somebody that just didn't want to work and didn't have their S together. So cool. Tony Baloney. Debt-free flair, congratulations. I don't know many people who are living Dave Ramsey's way. Of course not, because that's not normal. I came across this podcast again. The healthy dudes. I think these people are these are the healthy dudes. Both of them posted about this, trying to make this, trying to get more people to listen. And they are living proof that Dave Ramsey's way. Again, I'll have an apostrophe there and apostrophe there. Apostrophes are free, which is the best way. Agree on that. I often think his ideas are nice ideas, but it's nice to hear someone living the way that he taught and be successful. Well, yeah, millions of documented successful documented stories. And no other financial person has that track record with their advice. So, take that as you will. Professional _ clue 569 looking for the single parent inspiration is what I was like. What in the world does that mean? I figured it out though, even with my dementia. I have a terrible relationship with my kids. Apostrophes are free. It cost me about $30K just to get a restraining order in place. Attorney fees. Yeah. He initially told me he was going to pay for the kid's college since his parents gave him part of his inheritance early. Approximately $1 million. He doesn't know that I know he has barely funded any college for the kids, like maybe $2K each. He refuses to pay for things, and since he doesn't work, I provide the health insurance for kids, and I also have them primarily. He told me Okay, look, just looking for inspiration though. So just saying what her challenges are. Um, he told me I should start at 529 because he just can't pay for college anymore. Okay, maybe he spent all his money. Maybe he had help spending all his money. We don't, at this point, we don't know. He fights me over the tiniest expenses, like half of school supplies. He's trying to keep as much money as he can. I just am feeling overwhelmed because I'm a single mom in the Bay Area, California. That's a high cost of living area. You got to bring home the money for that. I own my own home, thank God, but I still have a mortgage. Okay. And I'm just looking for some inspiration from other single parents who have accomplished their goals, made it through these steps, and helped their kids. Kids are 7 and 11. People can do it. You gotta be careful, especially in a high cost of living area. I would not count on him for anything. He has not shown that he can be trusted there, and so it's an issue of you accepting the reality of he is not the answer for that. You're going to be the only answer for this stuff, and so that means you have to address it, and so that means you may have to cut lifestyle to address it. That means you may have to move down in house to address it. So you just have to deal with the reality. I mean, you could. See, I mean, you got a restraining order over the guy. I mean, are you going to bother trying to sue him because maybe he doesn't have, maybe he has money, maybe he doesn't have money. Who knows? So, but are you going to waste money trying to sue him to get that? I mean, if it doesn't cost money, like to call whoever the state and get them on him to give you money or whatever, if he's not doing child support, that kind of thing. But if he doesn't, if you guys didn't go to court or something like that, and he doesn't have, if there's no child support ordered, then again, you need to just accept the responsibility that this is just the way it is. And so you basically count him out of the picture, and it's all up to you. And you stop expecting him to do anything anymore, which doesn't sound like she is. But yeah, just want some inspiration on that. I'm sure some single moms have had that same situation and they have prevailed. Give kids debit card. They don't need it. My ex and I, the kids can have a debit card when they start working, and you can open a credit. Whoa. And you can open a checking account for them, with them. If they are under 18, they do have to have an adult on that, parent. And then you would, they could get a debit card that pulls from that checking account. But there's no need. You just pay for everything. X and I had an argument, or you or the X pay for everything. Had an argument today when I brought an idea that I want to apply debit cards for kids. I want to apply for debit cards for kids. They are 8 and 6. I was thinking to use Greenlight or Till. It's more like a prepaid card. Why? Why do you want to do that? That I can link my bank account to give them allowance. It got parental control too. I want to teach them there is no free money. If they want to get toys, they need to do house chores, and they need to check how much money they have in their bank account before buying the toys. I want them to make the purchase by themselves. I swipe the card as well. They're not making it by themselves then. Then my ex said it's a stupid idea. I was wondering what you guys think and what Dave thinks. I don't know what Dave would think. Greenlight and Till and a few other are designed for kids from age 6. They don't need to do that yet. They're fine. My son did not have a checking account or debit card until he started working. And I believe, when did he work? I can't remember if he worked while he was 16 or only once he turned 17. I cannot remember. But then he got a checking account and a debit card came with that. They don't need it otherwise. You just pay for stuff for them. You can still require them to do house chores, etc. And it's only going to be, it's only every so often that they would get X amount of allowance or whatever. And you can keep track of that in your account. Smart Register Pro search. Has anyone found a Smart Register Pro they like in the Austin area? Let's see. Catherine-K. Widow call-in. Can anyone direct me to the episode that Dave referenced today about the widow called in and where they helped her not foreclose on her home? He said many people had called in offering to help her. Yeah, they gave her extra help with that situation. I did not hear the call myself, so I don't know exactly what Dave did, but definitely went above and beyond to help her. He often says that it's a Christian directive to help widows and children. Let's see, from Blevac Lux. Got served. So I got served today from a debt collector for me and my kid's mom. For doctor bills, okay? I remember hearing on a podcast about a virtual debit card for situations like this, so they can't take any money without consent. Can any of you help out? Or you can just go get a cashier's check instead. To settle it, and you can try to settle it for less, even if you have a court date, you can try to settle it before that. And so if you get a cashier's check, that does not have your bank account information on it, so they can't take any more money than the check is written for. So cashier's check for that. You don't need to mess with no virtual debit card for situations like that. I suppose you could do that if you wanted to, but that's seems like even an extra step that you don't need to do when you just go to your bank and get a cashier's check. All right, Outdoor 99, high yield savings account recommendations. We already did that. I think we've done these. They do these. Quit making contributions to my universal life insurance policy, or surrender it. Or surrender what? Stop doing contributions to it? Cash it out, $40K that my parents had started for me when I was born. Gerber Life. I gained access to the account and decided to just keep paying into it. Cost about $13 a month. I mean, that's not bad, but you could have invested that $13 and made more than that universal life policy is making you. Cash basis is $16.60 30 years later. Beep, beep, beep. Finally decided it's time to do DO, away with it, and get myself term. Excellent. Being a veteran, I can get VGLI coverage at a very low rate. Excellent. If I surrender the universal policy, I believe I'll be taxed on gains on my account. It's only going to be $16.60. It's not going to be much. Right, not that much money in the first place. Anything else I'm missing? No, then you get to keep your $13 a month. Worth noting, I don't have a wife or children who depend on my income. I will likely just get a 100,000 K policy, 20-year term, just to have some coverage. That is fine. Your situation could change. You could perhaps one day have wife or children. So consider that. Wife and I are preparing to get rid of our remaining debt. Excellent. This from Gian Dan 1. There's 3 Flare, which is of course save 3 to 6 months of expenses and fully funded emergency fund. Wife and I are preparing to get rid of our remaining debt. Student loans totaling $76K. After that, all we have left is our mortgage. Great. During the repayment pause, we saved up just about the entire total outstanding debt and had it in a safety account, which doubled as our emergency fund. It was timely because wife lost a job during the period that she was able to secure a consulting gig that kept us afloat. Dave would have said go ahead and pay it off at the time. Paying off the $76K will erase the largest chunk of savings we currently have, which is fine, great, because we want to be out of debt, great. Still did it wrong, but all right. We'll start with where you are now with the student debt. Gone, we plan to redirect all our barrels at refilling the emergency fund. Yep, that's what comes after step 2. Step 2, and then step 3 is do the emergency fund. My question is, how much should that really be? This is what I said at the top of the show, where you can't ask somebody that unless you tell them how many months of expenses you want and what your monthly expenses are. And then if you tell them that, then they can just multiply, which you could have done yourself. So you don't go on what anybody else's emergency fund is, because the months will be different and the amount of expenses will be different. So expenses, a household right now at around $8,400. So times 3 or times 3.5 or times 5.2 or times 6, whatever you want it to be. After removing student loans, that will drop it to around $660 per month. All right, so 660 times whatever then. My job is somewhat secure, though it would be hard for me to find a new one quickly. My wife is starting a brand new job that should be pretty secure, but has a variety of strong fallback options if things go awry. So it's up to you. If you think your job is somewhat secure, Dave says you have to have a 51%. It has to be 51% that you're going to lose your job. So if it's less than that, general worry doesn't up the emergency fund. Turn off the news, maybe. So basically, that would be then $6,600 per times the amount of months you want to have the fund for, anywhere from 3 to 6. Seems like the low end. Oh, look, he actually did it. Look at that. So he knows already. Seems the low end would be around 20K. Yep. 660 times 3, and the high around 40K, yes. But couldn't it also be 10K and 20K respectively, since the likelihood of us both being out of work is low? No. It's household expenses times at least 3 months. So 20K is the low end. Ideally, we would sprint to get to the minimum, then reduce to refocus towards other savings goals, second home. Nope. Well, it's not designed to be a minimum. It's designed to be what emergency fund you want. And like a lot of people have a 6-month emergency fund, and then they start seeing high yield savings accounts or something like that, or CDs that they think is a good rate. And then they say, oh, well, maybe we don't need a 6-month emergency fund. What changed other than you seeing some interest rate? So you need to decide what kind of emergency fund you want, and you don't change that just because there's something else you want to spend money on. That's not a good reason to change that. Now, changing it because you feel more comfortable in your job and life situations, that's a different thing. But because you want to buy a second home all of a sudden, I mean, you're thinking about it in advance is the time to think about it. So that's when you decide, well, if we want to have a second home, new home, then you do have to, for a second home, you have to pay all cash for that, dog. That has to be all cash. A new home, you sell the old home, unless these are the same thing, unless second home and new home are the same house. You have to sell the other one to fund the new one. And so there's no having 2 mortgages at the same time. Negative, good, bad. But we are having trouble determining what the minimum should be and if we are even comfortable with just the minimum. So David Ramsey's advice, it would be about the 20K. 6,600, times 3 months. And so that gives you your 20K. So That's what it should be. And then you start saving for your second home / new home in addition to having after you get that 20K. Because that's baby step 3B. So emergency fund first and saving for down payment is second. Let's see. Oh, what time is it? Oh my goodness, 9:44. The time just flies by. High performance managed assets. I even had a whole bunch of I even have a whole bunch of Facebook questions that I got since I thought I would run out of stuff. I guess I talk a long time. High performance managed assets from Nice Asset. Hi, Jeffrey Gang. David's always recommend investing your additional income in various high performance managed assets, but I never hear any names specifically. Does anyone know any of these he's specifically talking about, like VTI or something similar? He's not talking about an index fund unless like you're saving for a purchase, which he saves for real estate in an S&P 500 index fund. But what else he's talking about, high performance managed assets, would be, he just says mutual funds and real estate, so it would have to be that. It wouldn't be anything else, because he's not doing metals, he's not doing commodities like oil or anything like that. What else? No virtual currency, crypto, none of that. Let's see, what else? No real estate that you buy with somebody else. Even REITs, I don't think he does that unless he's come around, changed his mind on that. I think somebody said he said that. I don't know that he changed his mind on that, but he was talking about it like it might not be such a bad idea. But don't quote me on that, and don't sue me either way. Dave Ramsey, don't sue me either. I don't have enough money for you to bother with me. Let's see. So yeah, he says for investing is mutual funds and real estate. So I mean, you may take a high yield savings account, but if you have 5 years before you need the money, you put it in the market. Let's see, best option. My three boys, 9394. Investment portfolio is $2.3 million. Mortgage on house is $330K at 2.5%, and payment is $30K per month. Second home, $140K, not advised. He's doing it wrong. At 2.65, and payment is $1,800 per month. We're selling some investment property for $2.2 million. Okay, you get debt free then immediately. Should you pay off primary residence and invest remaining money? You pay off both. You pay off both houses with that. Ends in 2035. You pay off both and invest all money in property. No, you pay off both, and then you have that payment to invest every month. The mortgage payments, you can invest that every month. Husband's 62 and I'm 60, getting up there. Both of us are still working. Husband full-time, me part-time. Yeah, you know, whatever you've done wrong, which you have, I mean, 2.3 million investment portfolio, it seems to have worked for you. Great, congratulations. But anything on here that, you know, anything that is asked, we apply the baby steps to them. And so it is, oh, well, let's look at it. Let's see if it's changed. No, it doesn't matter if you have 2.3 million in investments. That doesn't matter. It's still, baby step 6 is pay off your home early before you invest more than 15%. So you still pay off the home early, and if you got 2 homes, you pay them both off with the proceeds from the investment real estate that you're doing. And then you do build wealth and give. You can invest whatever you want after that, which would include the 2 mortgage payments that you are currently making. Do not get fooled by the interest rates and what the market does, which is 10% a year average. That's what the S&P 500 does. Okay, so now we're done with that, but it is, let's just go through some of them. Why not? We'll do a full 2 hours. I need some advice, but please don't come at me. I'm going to go at you. We're currently in baby step 2, but my mother-in-law, hashtag mother-in-law, just gifted us a 2023 Chevy Tahoe yesterday. So we have 0 payments on it, but here's my question. Called today to put insurance on it, and they asked if I wanted to purchase a new vehicle replacement add-on. It's an additional $15 a month. Is this a good investment or bad idea? Thanks. Dave doesn't do any warranties like that. Dave doesn't advise any warranties like that. Let's see. This one, looking for an accountability partner. I am the need in my house. Nerd, probably, is what that's supposed to be. My free spirit husband has never been into budgeting and never will be, okay? He comes to the meetings, but I can't expect him to take over my duties when I slack off. It's not his thing. Sure, ever since we had kids, I've been overwhelmed, and budgeting has become harder and harder for me. Well, you do have to say no to kid stuff that isn't necessary. And has become harder and harder for me. Maybe he's not pulling his weight with the kids either. And so if you got to do the kids and the budgeting, then you just feel like it's everything. And like I said, overwhelmed. So that means you ask him for more help with the kids. And then you can do the budget, which probably, the way he feels about it, apparently, not his thing. Maybe he shouldn't be doing it. And so that's fine. Looking for someone who's also a wife and a nerd, maybe a mom too, who can relate to my struggles. I can relate to them. It's I've been a parent of small children, and I have done that and budgeted at the same time and worked at the same time, and so you just need to buckle up and go for it. Go. You got to do your thing. Budgeting, especially if you're a nerd, the budgeting isn't really that hard. So I think it's something else that's going on. Maybe he's not working as much as he could. Maybe. I don't want to speculate. There could be anything else going on, but budgeting should be fun for a nerd. I understand if you're overwhelmed by the kids. And then maybe budgeting would be just one more thing you have to do. And so you would start being resentful toward it. But maybe you're resentful to him because he's not helping if he just comes to the meeting and looks at your budget and say whatever you want to do. Let's see. Dave often says you make them change one thing in the budget so that they're involved. Looking for someone who's all the way. I just want to get my family back on track, and I know it's on me to get things started. Yeah, you maybe more communication with them. It's always about communication in marriage stuff. Always about communication. So without knowing like more specifics, that would be my advice there. Just talk to each other, and if that is a problem, talking to each other, then that's where counseling comes in. Right. I'm an RN of 32 years, worked 27 years in ER. Beep, beep. That's how the theme went to the show called ER. Now I work with vent patients. Ventilator, I believe. I am a widow, 1 year in September. No life insurance, nothing, just me. I want a side hustle. Ideas. I have thought about private nursing. Yep. Or going on. That's where you're going to get the most money from, doing that on the side. Or going from where I am moving into hospice. But that is so much wear and tear on a vehicle. Yeah. If I attempt private nursing, where do I advertise things? I do not know about where you would advertise for that. Um, Good question. Maybe ask some of your coworkers about that if they're doing it. See if they're doing it. But nurse stuff is probably going to be the most lucrative side hustle you can do. Last year we moved 500 miles and I would move 500 more away from all our properties to be closer to much of our family. All right. That didn't really work at the end there. We're getting older, and so our houses, so we have made, and so are our houses, I bet. So we have made the decision to sell them off as they become vacant. Okay, great. Then you don't have to deal with them. Not everybody wants to be a landlord, especially when they get older. Our tenant's lease is up. So this one is going to be first to go, okay? Our purchase price and improvement cost total $105K. What does that mean? Oh, that means you're out. That means you outlaid $105K, okay? Over the last 8 years, we have earned just over $110,000 net in rental income. Oh, the house is also appreciated $120,000. Okay, basic. So basically, you broke even from the rental income, but the appreciation was even more than the rental income. How about that? Oh, so if you earned $110,000 net, that means after this, so that's great. Let's see, this is why we became frugal, invested the majority of money in real estate. Yep, money. Going through life with debt is like a ship dragging anchor. Yep. Living debt free gave us an amazing amount of options and helped lead us to financial security. Today is Friday and I'm building birdhouses. Baby step 7 is pretty cool indeed. Okay. All right. I thought they were going to have some kind of question about doing something, but yeah, they're done with the real estate. Yeah, just, I mean, you don't need to do anything drastic like kick people out and stuff, and so they're just doing it as their leases are up, and just, I'm sure telling them way ahead of time, that when the lease is up, we are selling this house. The feeling when your Smart Vista Pro tells you that your current pathway gives you a 100% chance of successfully funding your retirement, regardless of what happens in the market, and you will not outlive your money, okay? We started in May 2020 on baby step 2 with $109K in debt, $92K in student loans alone. Baby step 6 now and making double mortgage payments, doubling it. Keep going. The peace that financial freedom brings you is everything. Seeing my husband tear up, knowing that he went from an impoverished upbringing and is building a legacy of generational wealth is everything. We started at ages 39 to 40. Excellent. Keep going. I'm debt free. Scream. Awesome. So got through all of those as well. All right. Nothing else to address in the comments. Let's see. What did I want to do? Oh, I want to bring my. Oh, since I bothered to pull it up, let's do this for the debt-free screamer there. Alright, don't want to do too much of it. I don't know if that's copyright now. I think I've played a lot of it before on the after show and didn't get flagged for that. Okay, so once more, I am Coach Steve Money, and I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And you can schedule a guest-free financial coaching consultation / assessment appointment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. We will do that appointment over video conferencing, probably Google Meet. Again, that's calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney, CALENDLY.com/CoachSteveMoney. The link is also in the description below. The video, email about coaching or anything else on this YouTube channel, CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to PayPal.me/CoachSteveMoney. You can add me on the gram at CoachSteveMoney. And of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. And you can catch a brand new Ramsey Show After Show. Where are they? There we are. Ramsey Show After Show. Started doing those back when it was the Dave Ramsey Show. Now it's just the Ramsey Show After Show. And so there will be a new one of those. I did them every day from the time I started to 8/24/2022, and then I moved, and because of my job I could not do them. I also had a fractured humerus and took time off on that. But then recently I started doing them whenever I have a weekday off. I do them, and the next one is on Tuesday, August the 15th, which is also Ree's birthday. Shout out to Ree. So, oh, and also that day on the 15th, I will be debuting a brand new Baby Steps song. Alrighty. Make smart, not just don't make financial decisions every day, but make smart financial decisions every day. Thank you so much for watching.